Can y'all hear that? No. Good old technology. Gotta love it.
Let's try this. Let's see if this works. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Yeah, it's muffled.
Yeah, it's not letting me just share sound to play. It's making me share a screen.
Okay.
I swear Zoom keeps changing all of their settings because it wasn't like this last week.
They do. Kyra, you're more welcome to sing. You can sing or hum, Kyra.
Oh yeah, no. See, I'm a choir girl. I'm not a solo girl.
Like I was about to ask, do we have any singers on the call?
Right, but you know what? We might just be rocking it. I might just put it on my phone at this point and see what comes up.
Yeah.
So yeah, because no, they changed the settings on me last week too, and I was like, that wasn't there. So
Yeah, I've seen some changes.
gotta love technology.
Yes, and silence is okay. It's help us to get grounded and get present while we're here. So it's all good. Welcome, Latoya. Yo, it is so quiet in my house right now. It's like, if y'all know me, y'all know my house be on 10. But right now, my house is dead quiet. It's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing.
We're putting it on that. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, y'all. It's 3:10. So people will continue to trickle in, which is absolutely fine. But I wanted to give people a 10-minute grace period, get us a little, started with some music. But before we get started, I wanted to do a quick grounding activity. And one of the things that I love to do to ground and just get present and just kind of release the things that might have happened the day before, the week before, or the month before is tapping. And it's also called emotional freedom technique. And when I say it's very, very powerful, It's something that I've used for years now, and it's an app that I use called Tapping Solution, and they have something called Quick Taps. And this one that I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see it is when needing a joyful boost, a joyful boost, happiness quick tap. If I can get my lips together. All right. Hey, Pearl. You are right on time. We are just getting started. We're doing a quick grounding activity, and
Good
you'll
evening,
see on the
everybody.
screen. Hey, hey, can everybody see that on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this one, he'll show you, you can, if you want to, you can close your eyes if you know what tapping is, but also you can watch the little boy at the corner of the screen, and he'll show you exactly where to tap and kind of guide you through it. So I'm going to start it now. You can, just move anything that might distract you, close the tabs on your phone or your computer, move them to a different place so that they're not going to distract you. Put your phone on, do not disturb, even if it's just for this next 2 minutes so that you can get focused. That will be good. So is everybody ready? I'll take silence as a yes. All right, I'm going to start it now.
Tapping on the side of the hand, repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. I choose to feel good now. Moving to the eyebrow point, I don't have to do anything to be happy. Side of the eye, I deserve to be happy just for being me. Under the eye, good feelings flow through me. Under the nose, no matter what's going on. Under the mouth, I choose to focus on what makes me happy. Collarbone, I allow happiness to flow into my body and mind. Under the arm, I magnify good feelings. Top of the head, I let my happiness show. Take a gentle breath in and exhale.
All right. And one more thing before we move forward, something that I recently learned in one of my programs that I'm taking. I'm currently getting certified in trauma of money. And one of the things we do to start our sessions is orienting. And it's really basically looking around your surroundings, looking over your shoulder, looking over your left shoulder, looking around your room, and reminding yourself that you're safe, that there's nothing in your environment that is going to hurt you or harm you right now. There's no saber-toothed tiger behind you. Just continue to look around, orienting yourself to your space and looking over your other shoulder. Continuing to scan the room, taking a deep breath, pausing at the top, and release. All right, ladies, how was that? You can come off mute. You can drop it in the chat. I know sometimes it's just a lot that goes on in our lives, and we don't always take the time to be present, to just take a breath, to just really get present to where we are. So sometimes it's like you don't realize it until after you've done it. It's like I was carrying a lot of weight. I was carrying a lot of energy. I was carrying a lot of things that were keeping me distracted or keeping me worried or keeping me just in a place of just overall all over the place energy. So let me know, drop it in the chat, or you can come off mute and share. Hey, Tish.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to unmute. Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you? Thanks for joining.
Good, absolutely.
What I
I'm
forgot.
enjoying.
All right, I'm about to start the recording because I went live, but I forgot to start the recording. So there we go. That was a unique but needed activity for me. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. And if, like I said, the name of the app that I use is the tapping solution. So that's something to take with you to look into, to use for yourself. They have tapping for just about everything. So definitely something to look into. Or you can go on YouTube and type in tapping for anxiety or tapping for better sleep, all types of things that you can use tapping for. So yes. Now, before we introduce our panelists, I'll introduce myself because a lot of y'all might know me. Some of y'all might not. If you're watching the recording or if you're watching it live, my name is Jaleesa Hardy. I'm also known as the Holistic Health Plug. I am a single mom. I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And it is a miracle right now that my house is quiet. And I am basking in that silence. I am a board certified holistic health practitioner, an author, a speaker, and a coach. And what I do is I provide support, toys. Look, this is something I've been working on my pitch. So bear with me, just letting people know what I do because it's been so many iterations of me, so many iterations of my brand. So what I do is I provide support, toys, and safe spaces for women to empower them to embrace life in collective community as a play experiment. And what I mean by a play experiment is that life, we get to play, we get to enjoy life. People say, oh, it's trial and error or, embracing failure, but I call it play. We're all here to play together, to learn together and grow together. So that's what I do with the things that I provide. So that's a little bit about me. And now you're going to get to know the panelists, the amazing panelists that we have for today's discussion. And Hyacinth, you can start.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Hyacinth, and I am the owner of the amazing award-winning Laundry Basket. So we are an on-demand mobile laundry and dry cleaning delivery solution out here in the DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia area. And so our mission really is to liberate busy individuals and families from the stress, the frustration, the overwhelm that comes from doing that dreaded household chore of laundry so that you can have joy and peace and do the things that you value. But not only do we do next day wash and fold laundry, we do dry cleaning, we do pressing, we do alterations, and we do closet organization. So it's really our goal to make you look and feel good. So hello, everyone.
Hey, yes. And before we even started having these series of conversations, I never thought of having somebody do my laundry as self-care. But in conversation with Hyacinth and the peace of mind that she brings to people to know, like, I can literally drop my bags off outside the door and the next day or the same day, I can get my laundry back. It's folded, it's pressed, it's clean, and I can just put it away and that be that. Like, that is one of the epitomes of self-care, okay? Because I know, especially if you got little ones, that little laundry, them little socks that you can't never find the matches to. Listen, okay? Go ahead, Kira.
I want to say that I agree with that self-care. I don't mind washing the laundry. I'm just not the girl that wants to fold it. So I'm sending Hyacinth my business. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am Kira Leto. I am an educator by trade. I taught high school for 13 years plus, with plenty of more years prior to that experience. But I am actually here as a from a holistic standpoint, I am here for energetics and supporting people as we move forward in this new time and place and space. Especially as a teacher during and after COVID, I had seen the amount of trauma, nervous system trauma that was coming up, and there had to be a solution out there. And I am coming to you representing the company Healy, which is actually this wonderful little device, and it's a bioenergetic frequency healer for anything and everything. And so we'll talk about that more, but I became hyper aware of our need to be able to self-regulate, and that even though, you know, we have things like tapping, or we have things like what Jaleesa just showed us, because that was the first time I've ever actually done tapping, but I've heard about it for years. But even understanding, you know, our anxiety or our stress levels, and I needed not only something physical to do, but I needed the support on the other end. So I was looking for a solution and an alternative that had to not deal with traditional medicine. And this is what I found. And it has been a game changer for myself and those around me. And so, yeah, so I am here representing that. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you, Kira. And I am definitely very grateful for Healy, for just how you share it with people, how you share it with the world. It's definitely been a game changer for me recently with some traumatic things happening in my life, and just being able to shift those things energetically using Healy. Like, I'm running it right now for crystals. So it's like so amazing when it comes to just anything that you're dealing with energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Like, it's literally all encompassing of things that it can do to support, because everything is energy. And that's really what it does, is it regulates your energy to where it's balanced and where you can be in a space of clarity and focus and peace of mind. So yes, thank you, Kira, for being here. I'm so excited for people to continue to learn about Healy. Go ahead, Dr. Mia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Mia Earl, and I am the CEO and founder of Abundant Life Wellness Solutions. And I've been in the space of health and wellness for over 30 years, so I am looking forward to this conversation. We help you to incorporate wellness, mental health, mental wellness strategies, and self-care into your lifestyle. I definitely believe that self-care and wellness is not a one-time thing, it's a journey, and we have to learn how to make it a part of what we do, just like we do with brushing our teeth. It should come that easy. So thanks to each of you all that have decided to join us today, and I am looking forward to it.
Yes, I'm very excited for all of you ladies to be here to share what you're doing. Dr. Mia will share a little bit more about what she does. I'm super excited to have that conversation about reflexology. But yeah, we can get into it. Before we get started, I would like we'll get started, but I would like for the attendees here to drop in the chat where you're from, what it is that you do, and what you hope to get from this conversation today. Yeah, you can drop that in the chat, and we'll get started with the questions for our panelists. But like I said, where you're from, what you hope, what you do, where you're from, and what you hope to get from this event today, or what you hope to bring to this event today, because you might have something that you do for self-care that people don't know about or is not widely known that you can share with others here in this space. This is definitely all about collective sharing space. It's not just the panelists, but it's for you to share as well. So my first question for the panelists, and you can go in any order: what inspired you to offer your unique form of self-care, and how did you develop or come upon your approach?
Okay, I'll go. I'll start it off. So, how I came about doing laundry. So, I am in my girlfriend's living room last year, and she has clothes all over the place. And I mean, everywhere. Like, I'm like, is that underwear like on the lamp? Is that like pants in the sink? Like, I mean, it's everywhere, y'all. I'm not joking. So I'm talking to her and I'm picking stuff up, and I'm realizing that she's buying new clothes instead of washing the clothes that she already has. And I'm like, now, isn't that going to lead to more laundry that has to be done? But I'm like, okay. But she's talking to me and she's telling me, and she's like, how busy she is. And she's like, she's a professional. I mean, well, she's a professional. There's a spouse, there's kids, there's sorority stuff, church stuff, social activities. And she's like, by the time I get home, I don't have time to do anything. And when she was talking to me, it resonated with me because I was that busy professional. I was guilty. Like my suitcase stayed in the living room for more days than it probably should have because I didn't want to unpack it and do the things involved with that. And so I was like, that's really interesting. And she said, I wish that somebody would just come and just do my laundry. I'll pay for it. I just need somebody to just come and do it. And I tell everyone that's when I became a fairy godmother, and I got my wings and I said, I'll do it. And that's how it really got started. I saw a need and I realized that this is something like, this is where we're going to. We're going to an era of convenience. And it's really I help people to change that mindset, that outsourcing and delegation is a bad word. Like, so we become a team member, because I really feel like sometimes in running a household, you need a team. You need help. You need help. And so we come in to provide that needed help even if it's just that one thing, but that one thing can take 4 hours off of your week. So we have decided like that is like our thing. It's all about self-care. We understand that the feelings that kind of come up with doing sometimes household chores, like the anxiety, the frustration, the stress, everything I mentioned before. And so our goal is to help people with that by just this common household chore of laundry.
I will share one of the strategies that I often use and incorporate into lifestyles is reflexology, as Jaleesa mentioned. And how did I come into reflexology? It was actually a point in my life where I was looking to do something different and offer something different to my clients as well. I come from a background, as I mentioned, of health and wellness. And I saw the stress and anxiety that individuals were dealing with. And I started out just offering stress management workshops. And I met a reflexologist, had never heard of reflexology. And if any of you all are like me, I just like a good foot rub. So I was out at a girls' day event and I was like, I want my foot rub. But little did I know that reflexology was so much more than that. So we connected over I was doing a stress management workshop, and I invited her to come and share. And then I started receiving services. And initially it helped me with my sinuses without me knowing it was helping me with my sinuses. But I found that it was an excellent modality for dealing with the stress and anxiety because it totally allows the body to relax. And it was actually a few years after that, and I was contemplating because I was working in corporate at the time. And corporate was it was overwhelming. It was stress. I was feeling burned out. And I believe that I was pushed into really, really focusing on what would I do next? What would be my next step? Because the program that I was managing decided that they were not going to renew that funding. So I started researching. And initially I thought, well, maybe I'll do massage therapy because I really wanted something that I felt was meaningful and that can touch people. However, massage therapy, the timing wasn't good. The finances wasn't good. So still maybe a year later, I started contemplating and looking and researching. And I just started researching reflexology, and everything fell into place. The training, the time for the finances. And I was like, okay, that's it. So it has been history. I have been in full-time business offering reflexology as one of those strategies to incorporate into self-care. Open the doors 2011. So we're going on 12, 13 years of reflexology. And I am still excited and passionate about sharing reflexology with others.
Yes, I love that. Before you go, Kira, I just wanted to like touch on something that Dr. Mia said. When it comes to our purpose and our path in life, sometimes we'll get signs about things, and other times, and it can be unclear. It's like, okay, something came up, but I don't know if this is the direction for me to go. And you'll be like, okay, the money not lining up, the people not lining up. Maybe this is not the way for me to go. And sometimes you'll have these experiences where it's like what one of my coaches calls divine synchronicities. It's like literally the pieces of the puzzle literally just come together one behind the other. And it's like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. And that's why I call life a play experiment, because it's like, we're not going to know exactly what's next. We're not going to know exactly what to do next every single time. And sometimes we just got to play and figure it out. Just do something, because it's like massage therapy and reflexology are similar, but it was like she had to get awareness of that before she could decide, okay, this is the direction I'm going to go. So yes, Lauren, divine intervention. Absolutely. So go ahead, Kira.
No, that I was going to say the same thing. It's and piggyback off all of that, because I think the reality is for all of us, we are in a different purpose work. Like my purpose work has always been to support my students, to support my kids, those around me, but my people. But at the end of the day, I'm the person that wants to support everybody who's in my around me. Like I was always friends with everybody around me, even the kids that weren't popular or were new, sometimes frankly to the country. And it was that realization, especially, and I know I kind of touched on this earlier, that for me, having the ability to support in a different way, like my kids were melting, and I'm talking melting during the pandemic. I've never seen so much trauma in all of my years. My mom was an educator for 35 years. So I have literally grown up in education my entire life. So this is all I know. So to find a different avenue to be able to support kids. And the reality is that I can do this remotely. I don't have to physically be next to you holding this little device. I can send it remotely to you across the world, because energetics are energetics. Like we all know what it's like to go outside and ground ourselves and just like put our feet on the ground, and how we can pick up that energy. Well, I mean, I know when I'm here in Texas and I know somebody's, something's not working, I pick up the phone and I'm with one of my friends and I'm like, what's the matter? They're like, how'd you know? I'm like, because I know you. I can feel you. What's wrong? And that was enough to get me to start thinking about different avenues. And reality is I have a massive amount of low level allergies that don't allow me to take certain medications. And I had to find a different option that was healthy. And it started me down a rabbit hole, and it got me to where I'm at. And it's just a part of multiple different versions of self-care all put together in one. And it's made a huge difference, particularly around my stress and my anxiety as an educator, as a teacher, because that was the main reason I left. It just wasn't a healthy environment anymore.
Yes, I love that. My standing desk was falling. But it goes back to those divine interventions, those divine synchronicities. Like life will bring us to where we need to be, or where, it's meant for us to be. And sometimes it doesn't look the way that we thought it would. But when we get present and realize, like, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, I'm exactly where I can be used, my gifts and my talents and my abilities can be used to impact my family, impact the world around me, impact my job, impact the people that I work with my business. But when it's a part of the process of surrendering to the journey and not trying to control everything, not trying to always know what's next, not always trying to figure things out, but surrendering in faith to know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So thank you, ladies, for sharing. The next question is, what are some common misconceptions about your form of self-care, and how do you address them?
I'll kick this one off.
Go ahead.
The one thing that I have found specifically when it comes to Healy, people are like, there's no way. You are all the way across the world. How can you sit there and know? How can you send me biohacking, energetic frequencies and get me across the world and actually make it work? And I'm sitting there going, try it. And it goes back to, like I was saying earlier, it's how do you know, like if you're a mom or you're a sister or you're, like how do you know when something is off with your family members or your best friend, where you can just all of a sudden you just get this, oh, I need to call. Something's not right. It's the same exact thing. It's that intuition. But the reality is that when we walk outside or you walk into a room and you're like, oh, this feels good. I like this energy. I like the people who are on my Zoom. And it's that realization of like, I can do it different and I can disrupt and break these patterns and these cycles. And I don't have to necessarily be in person to do it. So I get a lot of people that are like, that's very woo woo for me. And it cracks me up. But at the same time, it's like when they incorporate it as a piece of their self-care, they're immediately calling me saying, how do I sit there? And like, you sent me one set of frequencies for supporting me on an anxiety on an anxious, or I couldn't sleep. You sent me sleep frequencies. How do I get a hold of this? Because I got to start sharing this because this is supporting me, not just externally, but internally as well, while I'm doing all of the self-care, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's fun when they start to have that light bulb moment and it clicks.
Okay, I'll go next. So the common misconception for me that I see is that it's not affordable. And so when we really look at, what is your time worth? So I deal with a lot of people who, it is like doing certain household chores is affecting their mental health, their physical health. They're having so many feelings and thoughts around it, so much angst and anxiety around it, that to delegate, to outsource it to someone, it's worth it. It's worth getting back those 4 hours of time. So the first thing that I get is just, oh, it's too expensive, or just that certain things shouldn't be done. And I tell people all the time, men don't have an issue. Like if there's something going on with the roof, they'll call someone. They'll call a plumber. They'll call, someone to help, an electrician. But sometimes some women are just like, no, I should be doing this. I need to cook. I need to clean. I need to do the laundry. And it's so sometimes changing that mindset that you don't have to do it all. Like, so I always tell people that we can take off the Superwoman cape, we can launder it and put it in the closet, because we don't have to do it all. We really don't.
One of the misconceptions that I get about reflexology, or the question that I get is reflexology massage therapy? Or massage therapy and reflexology are the same thing. And actually, they are two different modalities. Yes, they work hand in hand. I love a great massage and I love my reflexology, and I get both of them because both of them makes my body work the way that it needs to work. And if I can just quickly get a poll, you can raise your hand. How many of you are familiar with reflexology? Ever heard of it, experience it? You can use your reaction. Okay. All right. Okay, so a couple. And as we continue to share and to talk, and I explain reflexology deals with the reflexes in our hand and our feet that totally corresponds to the organs and glands of our body. So reflexology is more intentional than just a massage. Massage is really working your muscle. It's manipulating that muscle. And reflexology is intentionally working on the energy pathways, dealing with your nerves, your nervous system, to address all the different organs and glands of your body. So that's one of the things that I have to continue to educate people on about reflexology and massage therapy.
Yes, I love that. Just a distinction because people can get it, confused. Like, is this a massage? No, I'm touching specific points on your body parts that are in connection to the other body parts to help them to function the way that they're supposed to. So, massage is like the feel good, get your body right, release the tension, that type of thing. So, it is two completely different things, but they work. Like you said, they work hand in hand because let me go and get a massage and get my foot reflexology. I'm going to feel like a brand new woman. Okay. So yes, thank you ladies for sharing. I don't know. I have a feeling. Does anybody in the audience have any questions for the panelists based off of what was shared?
Good evening, Ms. Pearl. I had a question for Kara. When you mentioned grounding, um, I've been that's been shared with me several times, but I got this thing where I keep my feet covered all the time, and it's like I can't walk bare feet anywhere. And any suggestions on how to address that?
Yeah, so I thank you for one sharing and asking that question. So I had shared with you guys that I was an educator. So I happen to be a history teacher. And so I've studied cultures all over the world, and it's just, they fascinate me, and I love them deeply. One of the things that when I was in college, one of the lessons I was taught was that there was a tribe over in Asia, and they would go into this place of that was sacral for that, very, very sacred for them. And women were on the ground and men were on cloths. Okay. And from our perspective, as a Western perspective, it would be, oh, women aren't clean enough aren't allowed to be on the cloth because they're the ones getting dirty on the ground. Well, it's actually the opposite. What it was is the men were not welcomed because they're not the nurturers, right? They don't give life. And so women were the only ones allowed to touch Mother Earth. The one thing I found is that if the more disconnected we are from the ground, even if it's just walking on the grass. Now, full transparency, I don't like my feet getting dirty if they're not supposed to. Like if I'm not at the beach, my feet are clean. Okay. So I wash my feet every night before I go to sleep if I have not taken a shower. Okay. So they're always getting washed. Okay. But when I put my feet back on the ground and I'm walking around and I'm just breathing, my heart starts slowing down. And so if you can do that for 10 minutes, it makes a huge difference because your body gets re-in-tuned with the earth. And women, as we give life, have the ability, like we feel things differently through nature. So I would definitely say if you can get out and just get on the ground and see how that feels, it breathes life into you. And it makes a huge difference when it comes to that. That grounding is massive for energetics.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And then should you be like barefooted?
Yes,
Okay.
Definitely be barefoot. Yeah. So
Okay.
take your feet off, take your shoes off and walk around on the grass and let them get dirty. And then do what I do, clean them off and put my shoes back on.
Yeah, I got this thing about, a bug might bite me.
Yeah, no, you know what? I haven't had that issue. I live out in the country, girl. I also live in the swamp. So I totally understand. I'm down in so
Thank
I do
you.
understand the bugs.
I may not be able to do 10 minutes. I'll start out with 5.
Even if you start out with 5, it will even 2 minutes will even make a difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say is like working up to it. Even if you start out going out in your socks, that's a step up from your shoes. Like just like working your way into it, easing into it so that you can say, okay, this isn't so bad. I got my socks on out here. It's not so bad. Maybe start out with, one sock off and one sock on, like just like working up to it. You don't have to automatically just jump out there. You can work your way up to it. Like she said, 2 minutes, even if it's just starting out with 10 seconds with your socks off, and you like, let me let me backtrack a little bit, put my socks back on, put one sock. Like it's an experiment. It's like what I say, literally everything is a play experiment in life. We get to play, we get to try new things, we get to see what works, what doesn't work. And then there are so many other ways of getting grounded. So kind of look up other ways to do grounding. I don't have any off the top of my head. If anybody knows any other ways of grounding, you can drop them in the chat. But I know that grounding, like on the ground, is like where that modality came from. So thank you so much for asking that question, Miss Pearl. All right. So my next question for the panelists is, how do you see your form of self-care fitting into a holistic approach to well-being? And how does it complement other forms of self-care? I know we already touched on some of these things, but kind of go a little deeper into like what it looks like for somebody who might want to incorporate what you do into their routine or their day, their, weekly, daily, monthly activities.
I'll start with reflexology and incorporating it into your daily lifestyle and what that looks like. Reflexology deals with your hand and your feet, and it also can incorporate some mindfulness. It also incorporates just paying attention to how your body actually feels. Now, of course, reflexology can help with a whole lot of different health conditions. However, when it comes to the feeling of being overwhelmed, dealing with the stress, anxiety, and even depression, what you really want to do is get your body back to a state where your body is relaxed. The more relaxed our body is, the more the body is going to feed the energy that the body is. The more the body can, I would say, quote unquote, heal itself. So when we're dealing with reflexology, it is initially about allowing the body to relax. I have individuals when they come in and their mind is all over the place. I can recall a gentleman, and he came in, apparently whatever situation he was dealing with, he was still holding that anger. And I had a difficult time breaking through that energy. So I had to get him to a place where his body can relax. So initially, just even before you start to touch your hand or your feet, just simply taking some deep, deep breaths, deep from your abdominal area, and being in tune to what your body is feeling like. What are your hands feeling like? Observe your hand, observe your feet, and what that feels like, even before we get into some specific reflexology points.
Yes, I love that, Dr. Mia. What it made me think about was like, everybody like close your hands like this. If your hands are closed, you can't receive anything. If there's an area, you can let them go. If there's something in your life where it's like you just feel like it's not changing, it's not shifting, it's not moving, it's because you're closed in that area of your life. And by sitting with yourself, sometimes it's hard to sit with ourselves because so many things have happened. We've had so many traumatic experiences. We don't even feel safe within our own bodies enough to sit still and just be. That's not what society tells us to do. It's constantly doing, going, when we receive the most by being open and releasing in order to receive in those areas where we're struggling, whether it's finances, health, relationships. A lot of times energetically, that's where there's a blockage because you're so tight and just wound up in those areas that nothing can move freely. So thank you, Dr. Mia, for sharing that. That's very important for us to remember.
Okay, so I'll go. So for us, even though we offer a la carte services, our main thing is a monthly subscription that we call affectionately our wash, rinse, repeat subscription model on a monthly basis. So we make it very convenient, so you don't even have to think about it. So you just set it and you kind of forget it. And so we'll send you like that reminder to kind of just push, your laundry outside, and then it's there waiting for you either the same day or the next day. So what it is that it's giving you back time. So what we're doing is that we're integrating our service so that you can do other things that you find of value, because we know that you don't find doing laundry of value. It's something that it has to be done. It's a routine task. But for most people, it's not something that they actually value. So now with that time that you have now freed up, you can now do those other things. So even if it's just spending time with friends, spending time with your spouse, spending time with your children, or even spending time on yourself, going to that brunch or doing those things on a weekend that you normally wouldn't do because that's laundry day. So now we're trying to take away laundry day for you and put that in the hands of someone else so that you can be more well-rounded and more fulfilled in your life. So with our subscription model, once again, you just set it and you forget it.
Yes, I love that. And what it made me think about was people like me that are perfectionists or like struggle with people pleasing or just wanting things to be a certain way. Those that clean up before the people come to clean. Those that, you might clean your car out before you take it to get detailed, like those type of people, because you don't want nobody to say nothing about you. You don't want nobody to talk about you. So when it comes to your laundry, ain't nobody ask you to pre-wash. Ain't nobody asked you to pre-sort. Ain't nobody
We
asked you
talked about that.
to do none of that,
Y'all be
okay?
doing too much. Y'all be doing too much. They were like, it's sorted. And I'm gonna do like my underwear. Girl, this is what we do. Like nobody looking at that. It's kind of like we're doing too much. We're just adding more stress on ourselves to kind of be perfect. It's honestly it's a task, yeah. So I've heard that like people do the whole like they clean their house before the housekeeper comes. It's just like what? So, but I get it, I'm not here to try to change decade old, that type of thing, but just know that, yeah, we're trying to make your life more easier. So don't put too much stress on yourself to be perfect.
Yes. An important part of self-care is learning how to allow people to take care of you, learning how to allow people in to help and support you, learning how to be open to receiving. Because a lot of times we'll be giving, we can give, we can do, we can go, we can support other people. But when it's time for other people to even support us and give us a compliment, it's like, oh, no, no, I'm just, it's nothing. But listen, be open to receive, be open to support, be open to allowing people into your space so that you can get to the next level in your life. You're only going to get but so far, always doing things the same way you've been doing them. So thank you, Hyacinth. Go ahead, Kira.
Okay, open crown moment. Can you please repeat the question, because those answers were so amazing that I was like all in them, and my brain went poof.
Yes. So how do you see your form of self-care fitting into a holistic approach to well-being, and how does it complement other forms of self-care?
Thank you. When I truly believe it takes a village for everything that we do, everything that we're talking about, how all of us are discussing this, all the work that we're all doing as panelists, Julissa as our host, like the four of us, our work all supports each other no matter what we do, right? Like it, and to have the ability to go from being in, villages where everybody's next door and you're doing your laundry together back in the day to now you're saying, hey, you're a part of my family. I'm asking you to support me this way. And it's received and vice versa. That was the whole thing that I was looking for when it came to finding Healy. It was, how can I find something that supports the reflexology that Dr. Mia has done on a patient, that after they've gone to see her, that it continues to support the nervous system that she has opened up and released oh, wow, cool. We can send energetic frequencies that are hacking the DNA and changing your blood system that supports what she did so that you can continue and you don't lose the progress that you made. So when you go back to see her again, hey, you're doing great. Well, same thing with Hyacinth. Having this idea of a perfectionist. I mean, I call myself a recovering perfectionist. I'm probably not. Let's call a spade. But but realizing like that I could call Hyacinth and say, hey, I trust you to actually see my dirty laundry. Like that's a huge vulnerability, and being able to get there, that wasn't something that I really do very well, because it's gonna look all good, and especially in today's day and age, right? Like everything looks Instagram perfect, which we all know is a lie. So for me, Healy was a piece of the puzzle to support what everybody's doing, but it's the in-between sessions. It's the in-between the sessions with your reflexology or your therapist or your well, we're going to call Hyacinth our mental sanity, right? Because she's taking away a day and giving a day back to us. So it's that in between, it supports the nervous system of that self-doubt. So that's where the connection came from for me with Healy, it was in the middle, in between your appointments. It was what supported you in the middle.
Yes, I love that. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. So my next question before we do like a 5-minute break is, what are some of the benefits that people can expect to experience when engaging in your form of self-care, both in the short term and the long term? So again, it's what are some of the benefits that people can expect to experience when engaging in your form of self-care, both in the short term and the long term?
When incorporating reflexology and looking for the benefits, it really is unique to each individual person, because reflexology is going to give you what you need. And a lot of people are surprised about that. But just in general, some benefits of reflexology: one is to allow the body to totally relax. It's going to help to improve your blood supply. It's going to help to improve your nerve supply. So with that, we can address various concerns. It can be anywhere from the stress, the anxiety, dealing with depression, and dealing with grief, to even chronic conditions that I deal with. That includes high blood pressure, diabetes. I've worked with lupus, fibromyalgia, individuals that have had strokes, even back to having headaches and migraines and the tight, tense muscles. Reflexology can benefit those different things. But again, you have to find out how reflexology will specifically work for you and give it time to work for you. Sometimes you may see immediate results. I've been in a situation where I've been out and somebody had their blood pressure checked. They came to see me for about 10 or 15 minutes, went back, and their blood pressure had gone down. So it really, really varies to your body, what's going on with it, your lifestyle, and the ability for your body to receive reflexology.
I'll go next. So besides, of course, we talk about like the freedom and, getting time back. One of the benefits that you'll see is that having a professional do your clothing, because let's be honest, I know you're not looking at the tags. You're not really looking at how to really take proper care of the clothing. So we spend all this money on clothing, and then we're really not taking care of it so that it can last, for its full, life cycle. So you have a professional that's actually washing it in the correct temperature, using the right products, not washing children's clothes with adult clothes, because that's definitely going to put wear and tear on that, so taking the proper care of your garments. So you have that. Also, what we're seeing is that as we know, when we go outside, there's a lot of things that stick to our clothing, bacteria, viruses, those types of things. So what we're doing is that we're bringing in these dirty clothes and putting them in a pile, wherever your pile is, or piles, plural, of clothes that are pretty much contaminated. So when we kind of just pile them up day after day after day after day, that's definitely not a good household environment to be in. So when you have a consistent cycle, no pun intended, of someone doing your clothing and taking those dirty clothes out of the home, you're now creating a more healthier environment for yourself, your children, your family, etc. The other thing is that we are an eco-friendly company, because we also understand that we know what you're doing as well. You're putting like one shirt in the washer because you realize you want to wear that shirt on Saturday and it's in dirty clothes. So now you're using a whole lot of water, a whole lot of products for like one or two items. So we are very concerned with not just our clients, but also the environment as well. So we use eco-friendly products as well as equipment to reduce that carbon footprint. So you're also supporting, which is a benefit, you're also supporting a local small business. Doesn't that make you feel good to do that? So that is another benefit of, our service is like, just the support that we get from the community. And with that support, now we're able to now pour back into the community that we work in, and we're able to do more stuff as far as community service as well. So there's a lot of benefits, short and long term, for using our service.
Yes. Now tell me, which one of y'all thought about laundry care in that way before this? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand. Never would I ever have thought of laundry care as self-care before this. It's like, man, just being able to support other businesses. And like, listen, when I say as a single mom of 3 kids, all my laundry going there together. My kids' clothes, my clothes. So look, save me some time, save me some energy, but being able to just set the bag outside the door and know that it's going to be done, and it's going to be done with excellence. It's going to be done with care, because I know the Hyacinth takes care of those clothes as if they were her own. I know that it's going to be done the way that, I would do if I had a little bit more time, but I don't have to. So yes, thank you so much. Who's next? Did everybody answer that question? I lost track. This conversation is
It's
so
all
good.
good. It's my turn, girl. I got you.
Okay.
I answered too. As soon as she's like, you spend all that money on your clothes. And I'm like, yeah, darn right I do. And I don't pay attention to those little tags. I have a cheat sheet for that. But I still don't pay attention to. So the benefits for Healy, the reality is that when we're talking about energies and biohacking and having these disruptors, I mean, Healy itself runs 40,000 different frequencies. So if you're the person that's got sciatica nerve pain, you can literally put them and attach it to your body so you can receive frequencies to help that. Ask me how I know. Got a sciatica nerve pain from a herniated disc. If you can't sleep, you can run sleep patterns to support you in that. If you're not a good test taker and you're a student in college and we've all done the all-nighters. We all know what it's like to sit there and get 2 hours or sometimes 45 minutes worth of sleep, go take your exam and hope and pray that it all stuck. Like you can actually run frequencies to support your energy in that. And so, I mean, you got 40,000, but the cool part is this little machine sits there and will scan you and tell you what you need, because, it's science and it's smart, and it's Nikola Tesla smart with all of these technologies that the world hasn't been wanting us to look at because it would disrupt the patterns of big pharma. And at the end of the day, that's for money. And we want to actually heal. We don't necessarily want to react. I want to be proactive. And so that's one of the benefits is it's proactive. As I was working on some of my own, asking for frequencies in support in one area, all of a sudden other stuff that was underlying just disappeared. And it was like, all of a sudden I don't have the same feelings or issues going on. And I know of some people where they were treating for using it for themselves for a type of they would get dizzy quite a bit. And so they were treating that, they got better. And then all of a sudden they realized like a couple months later that their asthma was gone. Now, again, that's not sitting there saying that it's perfect, but it ended up being something that supported them. And that was one of the results we've seen. And so it's just, the options are endless. And that's the part that I liked. And it's always being updated by scientists and people who are crazy smart. So, you know, that's the main benefits for me.
Yes. And talk about that sleep program. Listen, my youngest, he'll normally wake up between like 5 and 6 to nurse. I'm still nursing. Yeah. He's 19 months old. I'm still nursing. But he will wake up if I wasn't running the sleep program between 5 and 6. If I'm running that sleep program, he's not waking up till 9 or 10. And I'm like, okay. And I can look at the data on my watch of my sleep when I run the sleep program and when I don't. It's like you can tell the difference in how often I wake up and how much, deep sleep I get. So it's definitely, if you have trouble sleeping, listen, get you some get you some healing frequencies.
Hey,
and
you're preaching, girl, because my dad, who's 75, is like, where's your little frequency machine at? I can't sleep. And I'm like, cool, you're in. You're like, all right. Yeah, I feel you on that. Dogs sleep too. It's amazing. Everybody sleeps in the house. It's great.
Yes. Hey Kim, welcome. So we just, discussed our first set of questions. I wanted to give people a quick little 5 minute break to, stretch, get some water, take a potty break, whatever you need to do. And if there's anyone here in the audience that wanted to come off mute and kind of share what they do, what they have to offer, you can do that here as well during this. I call it an intermission, but like I said, give you some time to get some water. I got to go refill my water jug, take a potty break, do what you need to do. But if anyone wants to come off mute and share, what they do or something that they have to offer, feel free to do that now as well. And we'll come back 5 minutes, 4:12.
They took the midnight train. Just a city burning. Morning rays and sun. They took the midnight train. A singer in a smoky room. Smell of wine, she's perfume. A smile they can share the night. It goes up.
All right. It is 4:12. Drop a one in the chat if you are back. Want to make sure everybody is back. Everybody's gotten their water, took their potty break, stretched, did whatever they needed during this quick little intermission. I see you, Kamara. I see you, Faith. I see you, Latoya. I see my panelists. Only three people are back. We back, Tish? Deisha, Pearl, Lauren, Kim. Y'all back? If you're back, drop a one in the chat. If
Lauren gave a thumbs up.
Okay, I see. I see you, Miss Pearl. All right. Well, most of us are back. So we're gonna go to the next question, but did anybody have any burning questions or comments or ahas that came from the first set of questions? Something that you're like, ooh, I'm gonna do this like today. Like anything that came up for anybody that they wanted to come off mute and share, even the panelists, if it was something that one of the other panelists said, you're like, yes. Feel free to share.
Hi, this is Pearl. I
Yeah.
got a lot of aha moments, but is it Hyacinth?
Hyacinth.
Education about the laundry. Oh my God. I mean, wow. When Are you talking about the germs and then the fact, that you pay so much money for your clothes, but then you just throw them anywhere? I'm like, boy, she know. Oh yeah. So thank you for opening our eyes here. I tell you, make you
You're
look at
so welcome.
laundry a little bit different.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Anybody else have anything that came up that they wanted to share or any burning questions? And you can drop them in the chat as well if you don't want to come off mute or if you got a lot of background noise. All right. My next question for the panelists is, how do you work with clients to help them develop a self-care routine that incorporates your approach, and how do you tailor your approach to meet individual needs? Again, it's how do you work with clients to help them develop a self-care routine that incorporates your approach, and how do you tailor your approach to meet individual needs?
So I'll go with that. So the first thing is that we provide like the convenience. We're open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we work according to your schedule. What's the best time for you? So that's the first way that we kind of work. We also allow people to personalize because we understand that people like different things and we want to work with you, not, just incorporate our style. So if it's like my gym clothes, I like those to be air dried. I don't like those to go in a dryer. And for this, I want, this type of detergent, this type of this. I need that to be on hanger. We'll work with you. So you just have to communicate that with us and we put that in your file. The next thing that we do is that we realize that it's more than just laundry, right? So if we're going to be your partner in the clothing care, then we really have to expand our services. So that's when we expanded to doing alterations as well and dry cleaning, because we know we all hate standing in that dry cleaning line, trying to pick up and then we put it there and then we forget. And it's like 6 months later, it's like, oh, shoot, it's in the dry cleaner. So we understand that. So we expanded our services to include dry cleaning. So you can also give us your dry cleaning as well. You can give us, clothes that need to be altered. We can press some things. And then we can also organize it as well. So that's how we kind of incorporate and be like that one-stop shop and provide like those wraparound services. So even though we lead with the laundry, our services are much more than just that.
Yes, I love it. It's turning laundry care on its head, okay? Like nothing like it, okay? I love it. Go ahead, Dr. Mia.
Our services also are personalized to the individual and what you need, whether it's the stress relief, dealing with the anxiety, the pain relief. And one of the things that we want to see is that what are your goals? What are you looking for? As a natural health and wellness practitioner, we're also working with our clients because most of them, if they're seeking something self-care, something holistically, they're looking for what can I do? What can I do at home? The convenience of it, and being on no medications or the least amount of medications as possible. So that's one of the things that has been important when working with me. And once we understand what your goals are, that individualized plan, we work together from there. We can I do a virtual workshop called Greet the Feet. And we'll be adding more virtual individual sessions coming up in January as well. But that's most important. It's individualized. What do you specifically need? And how do we best incorporate that where you're utilizing your time wisely? Are we dealing with energy? Are you feeling burned out and overwhelmed? Because a lot of it, especially I know for myself and my clients, is we're busy. We're all so very busy, but we also are all wanting to live the best that we can, utilizing a more holistic approach. So we integrate all of that into your wellness plan.
So the heart of how we go about this, right, for anybody, but especially for all of us while we're here, it's rooted within the question. It says self-care. What do you need, right? So as a coach, as a, representative for Healy, any of what we're doing, like, we're all here for self-care. So you come speaking to us and, calling me saying, hey, Kira, I can't sleep. Okay, cool. That's where we're going to start. But where else can we support you? Because it's that self. What do you need? Like Dr. Mia said, it's individualized. And obviously, I mean, they took the words out of my mouth. Like, they've already said it. And of course, in our own areas, but we're here to make sure that everybody is receiving what they need. Because reality is we know that we don't put ourselves, most people do not put themselves first. And the minute that we can start doing that on a daily basis, even if it's for 10 minutes a day, that makes a huge difference in how our day is set up. And that's one of the things that I actually specifically say to my clients is, before you do anything for the day, do something for yourself before you do for others, because you cannot give from a cup that's empty. You have to fill it up for yourself. And if we, shifting that mindset to allow each other to do one thing of self-care for ourselves every morning before we do for anybody else. I mean, I know kiddos, that happens, but Jaleesa, I know you're laughing over there and you're like, yeah, right, girl. But even if it's okay, cool, I got you settled and now this is my 10 minutes, whatever that may be, 2 minutes. I don't know. I know moms lock themselves in the bathroom and eat their cookies, right? Like we've all seen it on the commercials, right? But it's that self-care. It's got to be individualized and customized, right? Because we're all individuals and we're all very unique in our own way, and what we need can change from hour to hour or week to week. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. It's so amazing just what you can learn in different spaces. And that's one of the things why I realize it's so important for us to be in community and in spaces where we can share and learn and collaborate and do things together, because it just makes life so much easier. It makes life so much more enjoyable, and we get to places and spaces faster because we're not doing it on our own. Imagine trying to push a couch up the stairs on your own. You know how long this gonna take? It's gonna take a minute. But you call a friend or two, it's not gonna take long at all, because you're not carrying the weight on your own. And that's what we do in life. We try to carry all the weight, all the responsibility, all the cares, all the worries on our own, and we don't have to. That's why it's so important for us to have conversations like this, so that we'll know that we're supported when it comes to taking care of ourselves, when it comes to implementing, when it comes to really having that accountability to say, sis, did you go to your reflexology appointment? Sis, did you put your laundry out? Sis, did you get your Healy frequencies today? Like, really that accountability, because it's like, if you know somebody's going to ask you, or it's like you're checking in with people to say, like, this is what I did today, you're more likely to do it, you're more likely to implement, you're more likely to integrate it into your life than you would be just doing it on your own. Because on your own, you can say, well, I said I was going to do it, I put it on my to-do list. I said, but it's easy to we lie to ourselves. To be honest, we do. We lie to ourselves, okay? We put stuff, we say, okay, I'm gonna work out today. This gonna be the day that I work out. Sis, you said that 3 months. You've been saying that for 3 months. You've been saying it for 3 months, okay? Since I heard you. Come on. But you put that accountability in place, and it's like, okay, so I'm gonna work out today. They're gonna check in, or I'm gonna check in with them and let them know that I actually worked out. And it's going to continue to build on that, because you're not doing it alone. So that's why it's so important. And one of the things that we decided for this event is it wasn't just going to be a one and done thing. We're going to continue to have these conversations with different practitioners, but also we took it another step further to create the Wellness Wonderland VIP experience. where you're not only getting the information, you're getting the information here. You're getting the contact information from the practitioners here, but we're going to be working in a collaborative space for you to implement reflexology, for you to implement the mindset shifts that will need to occur in order to be able to trust people with your laundry, to be able to trust people to come into your home and, clean, like implementing these things, taking it to a deeper level and really digging to the root of why is it that I feel like I have to do everything on my own? Why is it that I feel guilty asking for support, asking for help, asking for, just for somebody to take this load off my shoulders, whether it's a laundry load or, the load of just something that's been on your mind? Like getting to the root of those things and being able to experience healing for yourself and really get that personalized care with that in that space. So I'm going to drop the link to that if you want to check that out. Like I said, it'll be 2 weeks from today. So we can kind of check in to see, where you are with what you've learned here, but also during that time, we'll be able to sit with you specifically so that you can get a plan to implement what you learned here and it be specific to you and your needs. So let me drop that link before and if you ladies wanted to kind of share anything else about the VIP experience, feel free to share that as well. You can share, what you plan to offer, a little bit about what you plan to offer, what you plan to do there as well.
With the VIP experience, as we've all shared, it really is personalized and customized to what your specific needs are. And when I think about reflexology, oftentimes we don't really, how can I say it? We don't really treasure our hands and our feet. Our feet literally carries our bodies. If we're walking, if we're standing, even when we're sitting, our feet takes in a lot. And even our hands, regardless of your profession, you're using your hands. A lot of people are typing all day. If you're a teacher, you're writing on the chalkboard. So our hands experience a lot of stress and tension as well. So not only are we talking specifically about the body and the energy pathways of the body, we're also talking about literally your hands and your feet. I deal with people with plantar fasciitis, sciatic nerve pain, carpal tunnel issues. So we're really wanting to take a holistic approach. So one of the things that we're going to do is really look at what you need and specifically how reflexology can impact your life holistically as well.
Look, I'm on mute. Lord said, thank you for your expertise and confirmation, Dr. Earl. So yes, y'all, like I said, we didn't want to just, because a lot of times you'll get to an event, you'll get excited, you'll get hyped, like, yes, I got all this new information. You'll take the notes. Then as soon as you put the notebook away, it's gone. You don't even think no more about it because life that came back around, your kids that woke up, like mine about to wake up from nap, and it's like, you don't even think about it anymore. So by 2 weeks from now, having this experience to not only follow up with, what you've learned here, but also get a specific plan for how to implement these things and other things. Because like I said, I told Hyacinth and Kira knows, but one of the gifts that I have is organizing and helping people to plan and manage their time. So this framework came up called ICOM, and it's basically implementing getting clear on what it is that, look, I need my notebook, but it's basically a framework for how to get organized and how to put a proper plan in place that is customized to you. That was why I couldn't remember it, because I'm not supposed to expose the framework right now. Okay. that was why. Look at how God works. Okay? But it is a framework that just came up that I've been using to get organized and be able to accomplish so many things. Like if you know me, you know that I'm constantly like getting things done. I'm constantly like, I have a list of things that I do on a day-to-day basis. And by being organized, by having things in place to help me remember, because I do have an open crown. If you know anything about human design, I have an open crown, and if I don't write it down, it's gone. Okay, it's gone. And I even just recently put a whiteboard in the shower, because in the shower, you don't have all the outside stimulus and outside things. You have ideas and stuff coming in all the time. So you're able to catch it on the whiteboard. And that's one of the things that is literally where I wrote out this framework, because it came to me in the shower. So it's like just having those little things in place to help you stay organized, to help you to remember things, is what I'm going to be helping you work on in this VIP experience as well. So that's something new that just came up, but it's something I'll be incorporating in this experience. Yes, thank you, Lauren. Thank you for coming. And Lauren was just in a workshop with me. We did a poetry wellness workshop. So thank you so much for coming. All right, so the next to last question that I have is, how do you address issues of accessibility and inclusivity in your practice? And what steps do you take to make your self-care approach available to diverse populations? And again, is how do you address issues of accessibility and inclusivity in your practice? And what steps do you take to make your self-care approach available to diverse populations?
Okay, so I'll take a stab at that one. So of course we are a come to you service, so we definitely make it convenient. We are in 3 states, so Maryland, DC, and Northern Virginia, but we also not only work with like busy professionals, moms and kids, but of course we also work with seniors who have mobility issues, who still want to maintain their independence, but doing certain chores, would be a chore for them. We also work with men as well. So it's a common misconception it's just women, but we also work with men. We have some widowers. We also come to companies and provide it as a employee perk as people are going back into the office. So we realize that, clothes is now a thing. So we actually do work with a couple of companies where we actually come in, they drop off their laundry at a designated place at their job, and then we bring it back before they leave for work that day. So we want to make our services something that everyone can use, anyone can use, because it's something that we all have to do. And so it doesn't matter, what your ilk is, it's something that we can help you with, and we come to you.
With our services at Abundant Life Wellness Solutions, our physical location is actually in Tennessee. And we also offer our services to corporations. So there are some corporate sites where we actually, for convenience, we go on site and offer the services, whether it's the hand pain relief or if it's just, taking some time out of your busy schedule to relax and deal with some other concerns they may have. We also work with seniors. We do special events for seniors because we want them to be exposed to reflexology as well. We work with Pacific organizations that also work with other groups of people. And so they bring us in as well to work with their diverse populations. We are going to be expanding our services to be able to offer it more virtual as well. So anybody can have access to reflexology as we show you exactly what you can do yourself for self-care and how you can get the best benefit with reflexology. So we don't want to leave anybody that wants reflexology, that's open to reflexology. I want to expose the world.
So with my background in education, I have taught in some extremely diverse areas. I have taught in very rough areas where the kids are dealing with an exceptional amount of tough at-home circumstances, trauma, things like that. I was a special ed teacher and absolutely love my babies. And the reality is for me, it's always about the presence, right? Like if I can get present with you, to guide you and support you, like help you find your own compass, truly. And the thing with Healy is that I can be anywhere in the world. You can be anywhere in the world. I happen to be based in Houston, Texas, but you do not have to be in the same room with me in order to receive frequencies. We can get on with each other. You have the ability to, to get a personal one at your home, or so you can actually have, the feel it yourself. Like there's payment plan options, particularly around purchasing purchasing Healy. But the reality is that it's on a deeper level, right? Like this isn't just a matter of that self-care, but it's also just like what's around you. How can you support your kids that are little, that are upset, that can't figure out why they're feeling the way they are? Because, right, we know the brain doesn't develop until it's 25. And then all the way up to people that are older. I was talking about my dad that's 75 and was having trouble sleeping, and it supported him. So it's truly an all range category. It's just a matter of having the information and getting in front of people. And for me, I'm a phone call away, I'm a Zoom away. Call me, whatever it is, send me a voice note, send me a pigeon. I'm going to figure out how to send pigeons, like whatever that may be. But it's seeing kids. And it's not that adults and kids, I mean, we're very similar in the sense of like, as human beings, we like structure, we like to know where we're going and kind of like at least feel secure and safe. And I have found that when my clients start using Healy, it removes the uncertainty, and it allows them to get back to themselves and find their inner compass. So for me, that availability is, I'm there. You need me, call me. If it's 10 o'clock at night, I'll probably be sleeping, because I'm not going to lie, I'm that girl that, streetlights come on and I'm in bed, but I'm there for you the next morning. And it's that accessibility. I truly believe that all things should be accessible to everybody. And that was one of the main reasons why, for me, working with Healy, getting on a phone call, getting on a Zoom it's not too much, because I want to support people and help people. And this just happens to be a great avenue to do that.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies, for your responses. Okay, so my last question before we open the floor for any additional questions, comments, things like that, is how do you envision the future of self-care evolving, and how do you see your approach contributing to that evolution? And again, it's how do you envision the future of self-care evolving, and how do you see your approach contributing to the evolution?
I see self-care involving into that. It's not an option. It is not an option. We absolutely have to incorporate self-care into our lifestyle. I believe when we're dealing with the stresses of life and not incorporating self-care, that stress will take us out of this world quicker than anything else. We can be dealing with diabetes and dealing with other health issues. However, if we practice self-care, that would help us to better deal with or manage, any other health or chronic condition that we may be dealing with. So absolutely, it is not optional. And in terms of what I offer in terms of the wellness and reflexology, it's a different modality. A lot of people are not used to reflexology, or they know that their body has the ability to heal itself, but what does that really, really mean? How can I truly use that modality for my benefit and not go and spend tons and tons on traditional medical care? And let me put a disclaimer there. Traditional medical care has its place, but sometimes if we just take a step back and look at what can we do in the natural for self-care, we will be totally amazed at how our bodies will respond and how our bodies will actually function at its best.
Yes, I agree 100% with Dr. Mia. Stress is definitely taking us out at a record level. The only thing that I would add onto that that I see also is that we're moving to a place of switching that narrative. And I think you had already spoke on it before, Jaleesa, about being more vulnerable and really acknowledging what we need as far as our self-care. So no longer prescribing to what society says self-care is, because then that may do it for you. Like taking bubble baths actually stressed me out, so, it's more of like, what do I need? And also being able to be open, like we've already said as well, to getting the support and help. Like there are people out here to help you, but we just have to look for it. We just have to ask for it. We have to be open to it when it comes. When you see an opportunity that presents yourself, be open to it. It may be something that you're not used to. And it's like, my mama, said we have to do, but it's like kind of taking away those mindsets that we've been ingrained with and just realizing that, what do I need to live a more fulfilled life? What do I need to be a better version of myself? And if that means that people will talk about me because I don't do my laundry and I don't cook and I don't clean and I don't do this, then let it be. But I know that I have that peace, and I know that my household is working according to how I want it to. So just opening yourself up to different modalities, as well as getting the help that you need, however that looks.
Yes. One thing that came up as both Hyacinth and Dr. Mia was talking is that a lot of times we do things just out of habit or just out of how we were raised, what we saw growing up. For me, I didn't learn about self-care from my parents or my mom, because my mom has been and still is the type of person that will put everybody before herself. I had to learn to incorporate self-care, putting myself first, even after becoming a single mom, realizing the difference between the version of me that they get when I do take care of myself and the version of me that they get when they don't. Self-care is one of these selfless things that you can do for the people around you, because you can show up as the bright and bubbly and light and stress-free version of yourself because you're taking care of yourself. And one of the things I realized is that we cannot pour from an empty cup. And for me, what I realized is that I do more than is necessary for my self-care, because when my cup is overflowing, I can give from my overflow and keep what's in my cup for me, so that I'm never depleted, I'm never run down, I'm never burned out, I'm never not never, not never. Because things happen, life happens, but more times than not, I'm in a space where I'm giving from my overflow versus continuing to give from my cup, where it's like, okay, when is it going to be time for me? Because you start to resent the people around you because they're getting all of these things from you. Unintentionally, you start to resent them because it's like, when is it going to be time for me to be taken care of? Who's going to take care of me? But if you don't take care of yourself first, nobody else is going to take care of you the way that you need to be taken care of. So that's why it's so important for us to kind of get to the root of, why is it that it's hard for me to take some time for self-care? Why is that I feel guilty? Mom guilt comes up when you take a time for yourself. Why is it that I can't shake this thing, this mom guilt, and be okay with taking time for myself? Like really get into the root of those things, because a lot of what we experience are literally just symptoms, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. They're symptoms of the root of what's really going on. So when you can do that work to say, okay, this is where it comes from, you can uproot that thing and replace it with something that is more beneficial and supporting for you, so that it's easy for you to receive support. It's easy for you to reach out to Dr. Mia to say, I'm ready to start reflexology. Because you might experience some resistance in the beginning, because it's like, I'm not used to taking care of myself. This wasn't the example that was presented to me. Nobody taught me that I need to take care of myself first, Or you might have been in a relationship where, people talk down to you or talk bad to you, or you might have been in an abusive situation where they made you feel less than, or that you weren't worthy, or that you weren't deserving. And now you need the support and community to help you build yourself back up, so you'll know that you're worthy, that you're deserving, and that you are enough just as you are. So that's why these conversations and these implementing these things are so important. So go ahead, Kira.
No, preach, girl. Preach, sis. No, so the reality is we're having the conversation right now. We are all here having the conversation. We are already choosing to shift the narrative. We are already sitting there saying that this no longer serves us. This no longer works for me. And that's the part that I embrace the most when it comes to where the future is going. You see so many people all over social media looking at old holistic ideas. Again, like Dr. Mia said, there's a time and a place for what is today considered traditional medicine, but the history teacher in me goes, let me go back a couple thousand years and everything was all herbal, so where we're at. So, modern medicine that we have that is beautiful, that saves lives, can work with all of the other things that we're doing together. Everything has a time and place. If you drink too much water, you can actually hurt yourself, right? So, anything in too much or anything in lack, it's all about that happy medium, but the pendulum's going to swing, there's no such thing as balance. Yeah, right. One day it's going to be 60%. The next day you're going to be lucky to be operating on a 10, or a 90. But it's where the pendulum swings, and we're having this conversation, but we're also creating a place and an intentional structure. We're talking about this VIP experience because the four of us got on our call and we all immediately said, we can't have just one call. We want to sit there and support our people afterwards, because you can't drop the ball, but we choose to hold the space for anybody that joins us. And then what do we do for the four of each other? The four of us sit there and hold each other in space as well. So that way, then we can hold our people. That's how it works. That's how it grows. That's how everybody begins to thrive. And it doesn't become one thing. It becomes a living, breathing community that has life, so much life built into it. By the time you're walking away from it, you're like, oh, I got to be back there. How do I get back again? Where do I go? And I got to bring everybody in. So we are disrupting the narrative now by being here as a whole. And I think that's the beauty of where self-care is going, because it shouldn't even be, it should just be, what did you do today for you? It should just be a normal thing. It shouldn't have to be something that we have to set aside. And so, pushing back against the norms of what today is considered the norms, because I'm not really a big fan of fitting in. So I love it.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking on the VIP experience, you'll get additional bonuses and specials from each of the panelists. I'll be including a 30-day customized AI-powered meal plan. So we'll be able to sit down with each other, figure out what you like, what you don't like, what types of things you want to incorporate into your meal plan. And my system will produce the meal plan that is going to work for you, is going to work for your lifestyle. Because a lot of times, as moms, we won't have time to set out a 5-course meal. We might have to do a quick little crock pot, a little, little air fried meal. But we still want to be healthy. We still want to be intentional about what we eat. But having this meal plan, and also you'll have a grocery list with that as well, to say, okay, this is what I need to go get from the grocery store for this meal plan. Because a lot of times you might get a meal plan, but it's like, okay, I got to figure out the measurements of how much I need for this. Like, you'll get that in this VIP experience as a bonus. But ladies and gentlemen, I know Patrick was here. And then I know there might be some guys to join in the conversation for the replay. But this was absolutely amazing. Man, I'm so grateful for you, Hyacinth, because this was originally something that, we partner on. But I feel like it's going to be a collective of practitioners that keep this conversation, that keep this going, that we can build and collaborate with each other, continuing to move forward, so that we can support communities of people that know that, okay, let's make self-care a lifestyle. Let's make self-care something that is non-negotiable. Let's make self-care something that we don't see as selfish or feel guilty for. So I'm super excited to see where this goes, and I'm super excited to see those that join the VIP experience, because this conversation alone has been life-changing for me. I don't know if anybody else, got nuggets or gems from this. But it's definitely been phenomenal just to have this conversation in this space to just talk about, what we can do to better take care of ourselves. And at this time, we have about 10 more minutes. I would like for people to share any ahas, any, gems that they received, or ask any questions that they have at this time.
Hi, this is Pearl. This has been a great event. I didn't know, I know Dr. Mia. I hadn't met, any of you other guys, but you all were just so great. And I was really, is it Hyacinth? I mean, it was like when you said she did laundry, then I'm thinking like, how's she gonna fit in here? I mean, you fit perfectly, it's just like, oh my God, I got some stories about laundry. But I really want to publicly thank Dr. Mia for the education that she shared on social media, because I'm in a different state. I'm in Georgia, but I'm from her hometown, Memphis. And the education has really been great for me because I have actually incorporated reflexology, and I mean, I haven't figured out the right place in my budget, but I'm getting it done because I'm also getting like the sinus allergy facial done because I had I had COVID in January of 2022, and it's like my sinuses have not been right, since, not with traditional medicine, but I've got a lot of help with the sinus allergy facial and the reflexology. And like I think you were saying, like, you can work on, the feet for something, and then some other part of your body just start feeling better. And that has really happened to me. And it was so shocking. And when I spoke to the massage therapist about, I say, can I come back next week? She said, no. And she started educating me about how, toxins are going to be released in your body, and you got to drink a lot of water and do things to take care of yourself. So she said, it's going to take you time. No, you can't come back next week for this. Because I was trying to get in there. And it is so true, because I remember one of my sessions, I got kind of low on drinking my water. And I tell you, I started feeling nauseated. And I thought, oh my God, this is exactly what she was talking about. And, and I got to get my water up. But I'm looking forward to, I guess, continuing on. And I'm happy to say that I'm kind of already on that journey, and when you talked about stress, I think, was it you, Dr. Mia, talking about stress? Oh my God. Stress about took me out as a educator, and you can relate, Kara. Yeah, it about took me to the grave until my doctor she told me, she said, you need to choose your life or that job. And I tell you, that was a wake-up call. And I left right before the pandemic, but I am still dealing with the impact of stress on my body, over 26 years in the education field. And I tell anybody, stress is no joke. Take it seriously. It can take you out. Yeah, it sure can.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Pearl, for sharing, for being here, for, showing up and, participating. It makes it all, worthwhile when we know that we're making an impact when people are, receiving what we intended for people to receive. Kamara, did you have anything you wanted to share? Any questions?
No, I just learned a lot today. It was very informative, a different perspective. But this was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And not Latoya, Kamara, make sure you drop the information about your space, what you're doing in your business as well, down in the chat so people can know where to find you. Kamara is doing some amazing things with her Get Out of Jail series, podcast series. She has a community that I'm a part of where she drops, just encouragement and prayers on a regular basis. So definitely come on, make sure you drop that information. And is the conference is coming up, right? Can people still get tickets?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, the conference is December 1st to the 2nd in Tampa, Florida, but we do have virtual tickets available. I'll put my website in the chat, and then you can be able to, look at it, see if it where my words at, if it's interesting to you or whatever. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Latoya, did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to share as far as ahas or things that came up for you during this conversation?
No, not anything in particular, just more so just the importance of me actually putting self-care in my actual schedule. I think that's the biggest thing for me is actually putting it in there. It was very informative, gave me different perspectives about different things that I probably could use. But it was just something that was great and something that I needed to just let me know, hey, you're missing this. You need to look at that. So I'm excited.
Yes, thank you so much, Latoya, for being here. We so appreciate you. And I just hope that this helps to continue to help you implement, the self-care and the importance and know and understand that you are worthy of being taken care of. Like you are worthy of and deserving of, putting yourself first. So yes, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing. Tish, did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to share? She might drop it in the chat. And Tish, make sure you drop the information to your boutique in the chat as well. To our panelists, we have. Oh, he just came back.
I'm sorry, I tried to unmute and I turned myself.
Okay.
I didn't mean to do that. My apologies. I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody. It was a great presentation from everyone. Got little nuggets, a little more information about reflexology, which I didn't know. And just like an aha moment for myself with the laundry services. Not so much self-care for myself, but self-care, I guess I'm providing for my daughter. My granddaughter is recently diagnosed with autism, and just trying to figure out what I could do on my level to help them process, and things were overwhelming. So what I've done is I do their laundry now, and I need to hire Hyacinth to do my laundry for doing somebody else's laundry. But just how she just expresses so much relief every time that she either picks it up or I take it over to her, that it's just so much of a stress reliever to just take on just that little thing. But you never look at it as self-care. Of course, it's self-care for her, not for me. But yeah.
Yeah. It's important to see the impact of, even for somebody else to be able to take care of themselves, give them that time back, that freedom, that little bit of space that they have because they don't have to do their laundry is important. So Tish, kudos to you for taking on that responsibility, but also remember that you got to put yourself first too. I know you got a lot on your plate, a lot that you do, but it's important for you to put yourself first so that you can continue to serve and support those around you.
Yes, thank you. I'll be taking that under advisement.
Yes. Make sure you drop your information for your boutique in the chat, y'all. Listen, Tish clothes.
Thank you.
Amazing. Okay. So make sure y'all check out her boutique. So final words, any encouragement or any final words from the panelists before we hop off?
I'd say when it comes to self-care, don't overwhelm yourself with, I gotta do it. Find something that you can incorporate, whether it's getting somebody to help with your laundry, taking some time to sit back and breathe, connecting with Kyra, whatever it is, take one simple, one task and just get started. One of the things that I've found is that it's easy to put self on the back burner because we're women here. And we want to give and give and give. But just as Minister Jaleesa said, how can we give from an empty cup? We got to fill ourselves back up. So having that accountability is critical, but also find one thing that you can enjoy. And self-care is different for each of us. Sometimes self-care for me is jumping rope. Sometimes self-care for me is dancing. Sometimes it's painting. I just painted doing a paint project, painting some tires, so we are here to help you to find out what that self-care is for you and incorporating all the different pieces of your lifestyle so you can get the best. And one of the things that I'll be adding as a bonus for the VIP experience is giving you at least 3 reflexology points and walking you through those points that you can use on a regular basis to incorporate into that self-care as well.
I ditto everything that's been said. Go ahead, Kyra.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I just agree with everything that has already been said. So I think we've put them on a good path. So we're good.
I completely agree. Like I had said earlier, it takes the community. We're already here disrupting the patterns. We're already choosing something different. And that's the win here. Like that's the good news here is that everybody here has already made a choice to step forward, to take a different path. And the fact that you showed up here, you took your time, made time for yourself. Like you literally started today. You literally started today saying that you are choosing you first and making yourself the priority. And now the best part is you have people that are in your space as cheerleaders, whatever you want to call us, that are like, hey, we're going to help as a team. We're going to get you what you need to support that. And I'm just celebrating everybody for that because there's endless amounts of opportunities to create whatever self-care is for you. And you have a lot of amazing people around you who are here to support you in doing that and brainstorming and figure out what that looks like.
Yes, I completely agree. Thank you so much, Dr. Mia, Kira, Hyacinth. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, for sharing your wisdom, sharing your expertise, sharing this space with me. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm so looking forward to the VIP experience. And I almost forgot that I'm currently doing a harvest sale. So because you're here and you stay to the end, you get the code to get 22% off the VIP experience using the code harvest and the number 2, and I can drop that in the chat. But this is only the beginning, y'all. This is literally only the beginning, not just the VIP experience, but as we continue to bring on practitioners to have this conversation and share their expertise, it's only going to grow from there. But that's all I have. Nobody has any more questions. It is 5:03, but I just want you to know, each and every one of you to know that I love you. I see you, and I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself and for this space. And that's all I have. Oh, and I just dropped the feedback form in the chat as well. So please take the time to do that. But that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all. Good night.
Good night. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.